market. Let's start with, it's down a significant amount from April of last year. But I said this for anyone who asked me last fall. They said, do you think next year is going to be as good? And I said, I think it's going to be good. I just don't think we can repeat those 4 months in the middle of the year, which were April, May, June, and July. I just couldn't see us doing 1,700 ends in each of those months. And not that I'm a genius, but it kind of came in not quite there. Give you a little perspective though, last month was the 12th busiest month in the history of the Central Okanagan in real estate. So it's still very, very good. And the top 7 were all last year. So it's still a very, very, very good sales total, but it obviously is down significantly. We'll see how the media prints it all up now. It might help you with some of your sellers I know that are being tough on price because it has changed significantly. So listings are down. I think we've said that, we can just repeat it. Sales are up year to date, but obviously that's going to change if we have another month like next month, because we have a bigger month to beat in May than we did in April. May was crazy last year. So our inventory is down about 18%. We have about 4 months worth of inventory. Now I know that sounds crazy and we're down to less than 3 in all the major categories. GTA right now, 1 month worth of inventory. So they have 1 month worth of inventory in the Greater Toronto area right now. So there, if this is tight, I can't imagine how tight it is there. Residential down, and this is the market that's undergoing the biggest change. I think there's a flop between residential and condo. Listings are down 17%, sales are down 8% year to date. Our inventory is down. We have under 3 months worth of inventory, which is better than we were at the end of last fall where we were at 2 months worth of inventory. The average price year to date is $644. It was $667 last month, which of course is another record high, which is up about 15% year to date. The condo market, which I still think is going to undergo the biggest change this year, is up in listings 7% and up in sales 10%. Inventory is down. We have about 2 months worth of inventory, which is what we've been hanging around now for about 6 months. The average price year to date, $334. Last month, $336. It's up about 20% year to date, but seems to be for the last 3 months reasonably stable. The townhouse market, almost identical to last year's. Listings down about 3%, sales down about 1%. Our inventory is down. We're back up to almost 3 months worth of inventory. You may recall we were below 2 months worth of inventory last month, so the inventory has grown in townhouse, and maybe that's why the prices haven't moved quite as quickly. The average price year to date, $441, and last month it was $454. It's also up about 16%. Lots, the average price, $272 year to date, $282 for the month. So that seems to be our new market. It seems to be stabilizing there as well. And in the mobile home market, I don't know that we have enough activity to really talk about, but the prices last month were $130,000, and we've kind of hung around there for quite a while now. I'm using the word stabilize, and I'm not suggesting by any means that the market is slowing down or prices are stabilizing, but the average price certainly seems to have, except residential where it continues just to go crazy. What's happening in the condo market? Is it moving that quickly as well? Which is my guess. Who's working on pre-sale buildings? You got one, Amy? So how many left in the, which building?
Central Green 2.
Central Green 2, how many units left?
They have 8 and they're rolling back incentives. So
they have 8 left.
They have about 8 left, yeah.
Anybody else can make a comment?
And I have 3 left in 1.
Okay, so they got 11 units left out of 80.
Mm-hmm.
All right, anyone else working on anything in the new development stuff?
The ones in Gladly have 1 left, and it's the show home, and then they start the next phase.
So they're not going to probably sell that one. If they do, they'll do a 2-year completion on it.
Yeah, it'll be hard to sell it.
So does anyone comment on what kind of investors buying the new stuff? Like the last time we did this, 05, 06, 07, it was a stock market item. People were buying 2, 3, 4, or 5. They didn't qualify for them. Banks were giving them mortgages based on their cousins, 3 cousins doing a deal because you needed 30% pre-sales, et cetera, et cetera. Any comments on it? Are the buyers more real this time, I guess is what I'm asking.
I think that buyers are still very aware of what happened in 2008. They're taking the time to qualify, and I think that's what I see out there. The one that could qualify, the one that are cash buyer, right? But
are all of these projects that we're talking about allowing rentals?
Mm-hmm. And pets.
Okay. So that's the key, because I don't know, is Ron here? Curtis is here. Do you see anything coming down with vacancy rate? I mean, 4,500 people moved here last year.
I don't know, it's just been crazy. My phone just inundated. I'm usually the guy who has at least 6 to 10 properties at any given time. I rented almost everything within the last week, last month. Yeah, just owners. I'm getting a lot of, well, some owners are buying 2 units at a time just to remember the rental units for.
But they're not buying 5.
No.
Yeah, that's what happened in 07. They bought 5.
Yeah, so I got some at, like the new sold downtown, that new one on Ethel and the highway. Last time I was in there, I had an owner, one of my current owners who just bought 3 places around the city. Purchased one there, and there were only 6 left at that time. That was a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
But yeah, the demand is, there's lots of people looking still, and there's just not the inventory.
And I don't think that's going to change from a rental perspective. There's 20,000 university students in our town now. It's staggering to think there's that many. All right, the 12-month total. So certainly for your sellers that are on complete drugs, this is probably the better sheet to show them, because it looks like the market has moderated. If you look at the listings, our listings unfortunately have dropped from March to April, which typically doesn't happen, but so did our sales. In residential, there's the sales went up, the listings stayed about the same, prices obviously went up. In condos, the listings dropped significantly, the sales stayed about the same, and in townhouse, the sales dropped. The average price in condo now, if you look at it, stayed about $333, $340, somewhere in that range. But obviously, they are continuing to move. And then the mobile home market just it looks like it's stabilized in around that $130,000 price range. So, any other comments? Other than it's no fun out there.